Why are people with ADHD more prone to addiction? Impulse control is one of the most challenging aspects of living with ADHD. It often feels like the brain is wired to act before fully considering the consequences, as if there's a constant urgency to satisfy a thought or feeling the moment it arises. This difficulty stems from the way the ADHD brain processes decision-making and rewards. When a new idea or opportunity pops up, especially one that promises excitement or relief, it's almost impossible to pause and weigh the long-term outcomes. Instead, the urge takes over and action follows almost instantly. This need for immediate satisfaction can show up in many areas of life. For some, it might mean making impulsive purchases that strain finances, while for others, it could lead to overeating, excessive gaming, or even experimenting with substances. The common thread is that these actions provide a quick fix, a temporary solution to the brain's constant search for stimulation or escape. It's not about lack of willpower or character. It's about the brain seeking to fill a gap, often without considering the cost. Impulsivity isn't just about acting on a whim. It's also tied to emotional responses. When emotions hit hard, whether it's frustration, boredom, or excitement, the ADHD brain can struggle to regulate them. This heightened emotional state can make impulsive decisions feel even more necessary. For instance, after a bad day, reaching for something that promises instant comfort, like alcohol or junk food, might feel like the only way to manage those emotions. The relief is brief, but the consequences can linger, creating a cycle that's hard to break. One of the challenges with ADHD is that the brain often focuses on the present moment, prioritizing immediate gratification over long-term benefits. This can lead to risky behaviors, especially when it comes to substances or activities that offer a dopamine rush. The allure of that instant reward can overshadow the potential dangers, making it easier to fall into patterns that become harmful over time. This isn't just a personal struggle. It's deeply connected to the way ADHD affects brain function, particularly in areas related to planning and self-regulation. Understanding the connection between ADHD and impulsivity is key to recognizing why certain behaviors feel so automatic. It's not a matter of being careless or reckless. It's about the brain seeking solutions in the moment. Unfortunately, these quick fixes often come at a cost, especially when they involve substances or habits that can quickly spiral out of control. This cycle is why many people with ADHD find themselves vulnerable to addiction, as their brains are naturally drawn to anything that promises immediate satisfaction. Breaking free from this cycle requires awareness and tools that address the unique needs of the ADHD brain. By learning to pause, reflect, and create healthier alternatives, it becomes possible to manage impulsivity and build a more balanced way of responding to life's challenges. Impulse control isn't just a skill. It's a journey of understanding your brain and finding ways to work with it rather than against it. Dopamine is a chemical in the brain that plays a central role in how we feel motivated, rewarded, and satisfied. For people with ADHD, the brain's natural dopamine levels often operate differently, creating a constant sense of searching for something to make things feel complete or balanced. This need for stimulation can feel like an unending drive to find activities or experiences that provide the excitement or relief that the brain craves. It's not about a lack of effort or discipline. It's about the brain's biology pushing for a solution to a deeper sense of imbalance. When dopamine is low, everyday tasks can feel exhausting, even impossible, while activities that offer a quick surge of dopamine, like taking risks, playing video games, or using substances, can feel irresistible. Behaviors or substances that flood the brain with dopamine offer a momentary escape from the restlessness or dissatisfaction that often comes with ADHD. Whether it's gambling, drinking, or eating sugary snacks, these experiences can briefly calm the mind, making them an easy fallback when other methods don't seem to work. But this relief doesn't last, and the cycle often leaves a person feeling worse in the long run. The ADHD brain isn't just looking for stimulation, it's looking for balance. That's why people with ADHD are drawn to activities or substances that offer an instant sense of accomplishment or calm. These experiences, even when harmful, are not about indulgence. They're about trying to feel normal. The problem is that the temporary dopamine boost is often followed by a crash, reinforcing the need to chase that feeling again. Over time, This can lead to dependence, as the brain starts to rely on these external sources of dopamine to function or feel satisfied. Dopamine doesn't just affect how we feel in the moment. It also impacts how we approach long-term goals and rewards. For someone with ADHD, waiting for results or finding satisfaction in delayed gratification can feel nearly impossible because the brain isn't wired to sustain motivation without immediate feedback. This creates a constant push and pull between wanting to achieve something meaningful and getting sidetracked by quick fixes that seem more attainable. Substances and risky behaviors take advantage of this dynamic, offering a shortcut to what the ADHD brain is desperately seeking. Understanding the role of dopamine helps explain why addiction can take hold so easily for someone with ADHD. It's not about weakness or a lack of willpower. It's about the brain's chemistry creating an uphill battle. Recognizing this connection is the first step toward finding healthier ways to meet the brain's needs, breaking free from cycles that only make things harder in the long term. Emotions can feel incredibly intense for someone with ADHD. A small frustration might feel like a full-blown crisis, and even minor disappointments can spiral into feelings of hopelessness. This heightened emotional sensitivity makes it difficult to manage stress in healthy ways. When life throws challenges your way, the reactions can feel overwhelming, as though there's no space between the emotion and the response. This lack of control can lead to a desperate search for anything, that provides immediate relief. Stress adds another layer to this struggle. Everyday situations that others might take in stride can feel monumental when your brain is already juggling so much. Whether it's the pressure of a deadline, a conflict with someone close, or the simple demands of keeping life organized, stress can build up quickly. In those moments, the idea of finding comfort through a substance, a behavior, or even zoning out with endless distractions can feel like the easiest option. It's not about weakness. It's about trying to find a way to quiet the storm inside. The problem is that these temporary escapes don't actually solve the issue. Substances or habits that offer a quick way out might dull the intensity of emotions for a moment, but they don't address the underlying stress or emotional pain. Instead, they often create new problems, leading to guilt, shame, or even more stress once the temporary relief fades. This cycle can become deeply entrenched, making it feel like there's no way out and leaving a person stuck in a loop of trying to escape emotions that only seem to grow stronger over time. Emotional regulation is a key area where ADHD creates challenges. Without tools to process and manage strong feelings, it's easy to get caught in a reactive state where every emotion feels like an emergency. The highs can be exhilarating, but the lows can feel crushing, and navigating between the two without healthy coping strategies can take a huge toll. The brain craves balance, but without support, it often ends up chasing short-term fixes that only deepen the sense of imbalance. Breaking this cycle isn't easy, but it starts with recognizing how much emotional intensity and stress influence decisions. When you understand that it's not just about willpower, but about finding better ways to handle those overwhelming moments, it becomes possible to start building healthier responses. It's not about being perfect or avoiding stress entirely. It's about learning how to face emotions without letting them control you. Breaking free from the cycle of addiction is not just about stopping a behavior or substance. It's about understanding what your brain truly needs and finding new ways to meet those needs. Recovery begins with recognizing that the patterns you've fallen into are not about failure or weakness, but are a result of how your ADHD brain is wired. This understanding can shift the focus from blaming yourself to finding solutions that work for you. It's not about being perfect. It's about building habits that support your brain in a sustainable way. Therapy can be one of the most powerful tools in this process. Working with a therapist who understands ADHD allows you to unpack the deeper triggers behind your behavior, helping you identify the emotions, situations, or stressors that push you toward harmful habits. Cognitive behavioral therapy, for example, can help reframe the thoughts and reactions that feed the cycle of addiction, giving you practical strategies to respond differently when challenges arise. Mindfulness is another key piece of the puzzle. For someone with ADHD, slowing down and staying present might feel like a nearly impossible task, but with practice, mindfulness can become a way to manage impulsivity and stress. Simple techniques like focusing on your breath or observing your thoughts without judgment can help create space between the urge to act and the action itself. Over time, this space allows for healthier choices and reduces the power of those intense cravings or emotional reactions. Building ADHD-specific strategies into your daily routine can also make a huge difference. Tools like creating structured plans, setting clear goals, and breaking tasks into manageable steps help reduce the overwhelm that often drives impulsive behavior. Even small victories like sticking to a routine or finding a new hobby that excites you can provide the dopamine your brain is craving in a healthier way. At the heart of breaking the cycle is self-compassion. ADHD often comes with a history of feeling misunderstood, judged, or not good enough, which can fuel feelings of shame or frustration. Learning to be kind to yourself and recognizing that you're working with a brain that operates differently is essential. When you treat yourself with patience and understanding, it's easier to let go of guilt and focus on moving forward. Recovery isn't a straight path, and it doesn't happen overnight. But every step you take toward healthier habits and deeper self-awareness brings you closer to finding balance. It's about creating a life that doesn't rely on quick fixes to feel good, but is built on choices that truly nourish your brain and your well-being.
If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, we prepared the next video especially for you. Click here to watch.